I've been trying to get my camera set up. I'm in my phone. I've been trying. Finally. So let's get into it. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Opi, and in this video I'm going to be telling you a story of what happened to me after secondary school. I'm going to be sharing with you a video of how I had a roommate from, I don't even know where she came from, but this story needs to be shared because I didn't even want to share this story because I was thinking that what if she sees this, but I don't care, man. I don't care. Everything is content. Okay, so let's get into it. So after secondary school, you know what? Get your drinks. Just get your drink and just enjoy the story. Have you gotten it? Okay, let's get into it. So after secondary school, I decided to do my A-levels, IGMB, anyone you would like to call it. I decided to do that. And when I got into when I found a place to do my IGMB, my A-levels, I could have stayed in my grandfather's place because my grandfather lived in that city, but I decided to stay in the hostel because I wanted to meet people, I wanted to experience people, and I just knew that going for classes from my grandfather's place would reduce the number of friends I could have. But it's not as if I was even friendly when I stayed in the hostel. But anyway, so I decided to stay in the hostel, and by the time I got to the hostel, we were five altogether, and we were so close, we were so happy. I mean, my roommates were awesome, amazing people, and it was just fun just hanging out with them, spending time with them, laughing, playing, checking out places, because most of us did not live in that city, so it was like we were there to explore. And you know, secondary school now, so after secondary school, when you go to university or wherever you're going to, you want to explore the city, you want to explore the town, you want to have fun, you want to just check it out. And that's what happened to me and my roommates. So we're all exploring and we're all having fun before classes even started. And then before I know it, we had a sixth room member, and she came in, she introduced herself. Let's call her, please don't mind any background noise you hear, let's call her, what should we call her? Let's call her Bay. So Bay comes into our room, and then she's quite different from the rest of us. The rest of us are people that don't really have experience with life like that. You know, we are people that lived under our parents, but she was different. She seemed to have experienced life. She seemed to have even gone into a polytechnic, and she was older than all of us, is what I'm trying to say. So she had more experience with life, and she came in with that experience, and she was just different from the rest of us, and that's all I'm going to say about her. She was just different from the rest of us. And so we all hung out. I wasn't really a fan of her. I just felt something was off about her, but we just all hung out. We would go out, she would tell us stories, weird stories, and we would just all listen to it because of course she's more experienced than the rest of us, so we'll listen to her stories. And so as time went by, one of our roommates left, and then we were all just hanging out, and then it seemed like a divide came into our room. And you know, my mother would like to believe that the divide came because of the girl, but I don't know. But there was just this divide that came in our room, and we turned from the girls that were all excited and happy to all of us were just on our own, and we weren't the happy roommates that we were at the beginning. And so it just came in, and I mean, I saw it as normal because life happens, and that was it. So we're all just doing our own thing. There were so many things happening, but we're all just doing our own thing. And then strange things started happening in the room. One of the strange things I can remember was when a bird was in our room, and there was no opening for the bird to come through to enter our room, but it was in our room. And then when one of my roommates touched the bird, she fainted. It was a whole thing, trust me, it was a whole thing. I just feel I can't say the full story because it's not my story to tell, but she fainted, and it was just a lot, and it was obvious that the bird was causing the whole fainting, and that was that. And then another thing that happened was when three of us were sleeping in the room, and we all woke up and we all had the same dream. Yeah, the same dream. In the dream, people were chasing us. Two of us escaped, but one of us didn't escape, and it happened to be the same person that touched the bird at that time. and she happened to be the bunkmate of Bay. So that happened. We found that strange that we were having the same dreams, and we thought nothing of it. We just said, oh, it's one of those things. And that was how it was. But then later on, there was a point where all of us were not talking to her. I can't remember what exactly she did. I just can't remember. But she was not talking to us, and so we decided to not talk to her. And then I remember one Saturday morning, we were all sleeping, and she woke up early and she was playing loud music and just going through her phone. And I asked her to reduce the music, but she didn't listen. And so we heard from somebody that she had said that was just the beginning, that she was going to deal with us, and we're all scared because we didn't know what she could do. And so one of us reported her to the management of the IGMB center that we were at, and they said they were going to remove her from our room. And so we're so happy, we're like, finally. And the reason why the management planned to remove her from our room was because they said anybody that could decide to not talk to her roommates like that and is planning to do something, and we don't know the kind of things she could do in the room, was not a safe person to be around. And so to avoid any stories that to avoid stories that would touch, yes, they decided to remove her from the room. And they had already called her to the office to tell her that she was no longer going to be our roommate. So that night, she told all of us that she wants to talk to us. Finally, she was going to talk to us, and she told us a story. She said that she was going to tell us a story so that we could understand her more. And she talked about how when her mother was about to give birth to her, her mom dedicated her to this, I don't know if I should call it a cult, but her mom dedicated her. And so she's part of this cult that she's not aware of, but she's part of it. And she told us that every Thursday night, her mom comes to the middle of our room. Her mom is late, by the way, so her mom comes to the middle of our room every night. And she told us that she's telling us this story so that we can understand her and let her stay. I don't know the reasoning behind that. I don't know how she thought that telling us this story was going to make us say, you know what, why don't you stay with us in the room and hang out with us, because it's totally normal for your mom to be coming in your late mom to be in the middle of our room on Thursday nights. Is perfectly normal, so why don't you stay? And all of us were like, And the next day she was out of that room because nobody wanted to. Of course, like, why would you allow her to stay? Although we know that she went to another person's room, but that's their problem. We didn't tell them the story. We just wanted to get rid of her because we were tired. And it now made sense of everything that happened to us in the room. It just made sense that it could have been from her and her spiritual powers. And so the person that came into our room the next time, she was weird, but I guess we were just meant to have weird roommates. But that's the story. That's what happened. Yes, and since then I went back to my grandfather's house because it's better to stay in your grandfather's house than to stay in a room where there are witches and wizards. So that's that. So that's the story. That's what happened. That's my weird roommate. I hope you enjoyed the story. Let me know in the comments what you would do if you were in that situation, and I'll be sure to answer. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.